Good, very early Sunday morning, guys. It's about 3:45 here for me. I'm betting you're not watching it at this point, unless, of course, you live somewhere that the storm's been rolling on all night. Mrs. P took the late shift. I'm taking the early shift just to kind of pay attention to what's going on in case anything gets crazy. But for us, we got pretty lucky. It's rained pretty hard, pretty steady all night. We don't get the winds per se because I'm kind of surrounded by mountains, so there's a windbreak in there. But obviously the sun isn't up, so I can't see branches or trees. I don't think any trees came down, though I thought I heard a thump last night, so we could have a big branch down somewhere. We'll see when the sun comes up, but we are okay. Can't say the same for the people in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. There were multiple deaths, over 24 deaths from this storm last night. Right now here, as I'm going, this storm's going through Atlanta and racing 9 kinds of hell. This is not one to scoff at. I know we have the issues all the time where the media makes a typical rainstorm go, oh, gee, it's the storm of the century or whatever it is. And you go, BFD, nothing happened, okay? This one, depending on where you are, is worthy of paying attention. We had tornado warnings around here last night. We had tornado watches around here last night. We're still under a flood warning. Oak Ridge, which is about an hour east of me, got nearly 6 inches of rain as of about 10 o'clock last night. I don't know what else they've got, but the storm should be pretty much done with them by now because we're now on the west side of the storm. It's a lot of rain. It's a lot of water. And considering how dry it has been for a good portion of the East Coast for a few weeks now, that ground is hard. And so that means the water is not going to soak in as well. And so you're going to have a lot more flooding. Now, depending on what time you're getting up, there's a lot of people that need to pay attention because this is going to start hitting Columbia, South Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, moving out Roanoke, Virginia, all the way up into the Baltimore area, Washington, D.C., just at 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And that's when you start. This storm is really weird because it's got little patches of heavy storms. It's not just one big, huge, heavy storm. So you get some moderate rain, and then it comes down on you in buckets. And then you get some moderate rain, then it comes down on you in buckets again. It's been like this all night. Obviously, I haven't got outside to check my rain gauge because it's pitch black out. But this is, again, what we prepare for. One of the many things. Natural disasters can easily be an SHTF event. Ask all those people in Missouri who, now that's come up, they've reported that as an EF3 tornado. Ask the people down in Alabama where a high school was destroyed yesterday, where you had houses blown over. Like I said, Alabama had a couple of dozen deaths already. When the sun comes up this morning, for all those down south, people are going to want to go out and survey the damage, including me, okay? At least on my property. There's going to be other people who are going to go out there and drive. Now, if it's just wet, that's one thing. But you're going to have a whole bunch of people who are going to try to drive over flooded roads, which is going to get people stuck. The other thing to be very careful on is if you're out driving, if you've got to go somewhere, it's Sunday morning, people going to church. This is one of those times to be uber aware of idiots. You may be the safest driver in the world. Doesn't mean the guy coming head on at you is. Okay. You know, when you get stuff like this, when you get standing water in streets, you can hydroplane real easy. Take it slow through this water. I know this is stuff you'd think you'd tell a 16-year-old, but a good reminder every once in a while is worthwhile. We didn't lose power last night. I'm actually shocked, okay? But a lot of people did, all right? What was their backup plan? There's going to be a whole lot of people with trees down and stuff today. Do they have chainsaws? What's their plan? You know, oh, I'll call the local tree service. Right. You don't think that there's 1,000 other people who have the same idea? Sure, we'll be out there. Our next appointment is May 4th. But the tree is in my living room. Yeah, you and a whole bunch of other people. Okay. This is something that, again, a learning event. Mind you this, guys, the first day of spring isn't till Thursday. We're still in winter, okay? And we've got a large, I won't say huge or massive or anything, a large tornado outbreak. There were many tornadoes, but not like we see sometime in the spring. This is just the first one. What's coming for the rest of the spring? And don't anybody give me this climate change bullshit, okay? Because that is their excuse to everything. You know, if it's not climate change, it's racism. Those are the two fail-safes when they don't have any facts to tell you about. They'll say, oh, it's all because of climate change or it's all because of racism. Right? No, this isn't it. You know, sorry, Mother Nature isn't racist, and nothing was done. I mean, mind you, most of the areas that got hit were pretty rural, okay? It's not like, you know, we have big factories out where I am. I mean, we're lucky we got a Walmart within a half an hour. But, yeah, this is just weather. And whether the weather was manipulated or not, it's going to be another question. Because there are many reports of many people spotting chemtrails over the Mississippi River and slightly west of it back around Thursday. Heavy spray. Now, could you take the positives to this? Yeah, it's been so dry here. We've had fire danger warnings for the last couple of weeks. Gee, let's spray the skies and we'll get some rain going and we can knock down the fire danger. I wouldn't put it past them, would you? Okay. Oops, we sprayed a little too much. And now you have dead people. Use this as an example, as a lesson. For people that say this is too early for this to happen. No. We go through ebbs and flows in winters. You know, ebbs and flows when the season starts. The calendar is, okay, what the calendar is. But, you know, a few days ahead of spring, great. I mean, we've had weather here, for example, 70 degrees on Christmas. We've also had 7 degrees on Christmas. And I know for some of you guys who go, oh, that's nothing. Okay, I'm in Tennessee. Use this as a learning experience. What did you do? What did you see? Of all these news stories you've watched, of all the videos you've seen, what do you see in those videos that people did wrong? Gee, they were out driving in this. You get a storm like this, stay inside. Gee, a tree fell on their car. Well, if they weren't out driving in it, maybe that wouldn't have happened. You know, not a whole lot you can do if a tornado hits your house, okay? It's not like you can stop that. But when people are like getting killed because they were standing out in the front yard watching the tornado, trying to get their video clip for Instagram, and they got sucked up by a tornado, yeah, okay. You know, when there's tornado watches, when there's tornado warnings in your area, that's time to get, especially when there's warnings, That's time to get into shelter somehow, okay? If you got a basement, get into a basement. If you don't, you get into an interior bathroom. Y'all know about opening doors, each side of the house, north and south, east and west, either way, to equalize the pressure throughout the house, okay? That will help at least protect you a little bit, okay? Do you know all these things? Are you ready for this? What did you see people do that they shouldn't have done? Talked yesterday about cleaning up stuff in the yard. Yeah, I made sure everything was cleaned up in the yard yesterday. Went out, did a run, picked up a couple of tools, people putting away lawn furniture so it didn't disappear. I got 20 mile an hour wind gusts. There were stories all over the place about 90 mile an hour wind gusts. Go look at the video from a few days ago in the panhandle of Texas where semis were tipping over, where there were a couple of guys out there measuring wind speed that counted, last I saw, in the video, 36 semis blown over. Okay? You can blow over a semi. Those are strong winds. Those will easily get rid of your lawn furniture. Maybe bring it in. That lawn furniture could easily go through a window. Now you got a big hole in the house and it's pouring rain. That ain't fun. Okay. I know a lot of this sounds like common sense, but many people, especially the ones that are younger, may not have dealt with storms like this on their own. Sure, if they're home with mom and dad did everything. All right, now they're in their first apartment, their first house. What do I do? I get calls from PBJ every once in a while. Dad, this is wrong with my car. Dad, how do I fill out my taxes this way? Okay, yeah. They've got to learn. It's up to us to teach them. We try to teach everything else, trying to teach a little bit of personal safety and personal preparation for situations where the weather sucks, where people died, okay? And then looking at who's going to see it today. If you're in South Carolina, central to eastern North Carolina, central to eastern Virginia, up into Maryland or whatever, get ready. This is coming for you. And the worst storm, because there are two, those people up in Buffalo and Pittsburgh and stuff like that, they're going to get whacked today too. That's not the strong storm. The strong storm's the one that's wreaking havoc on Atlanta right now. And like I said, Columbia, Charlotte, Roanoke, this is heading toward you. I don't know if he's on. I watched for a while last night, but I've mentioned Ryan Hall's channel quite often. They do a live stream. And, they're literally telling you down to the street corner where tornadoes are. It's worth watching if you're in South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, if they're going live today. I'll assume they will. They were going for 22 hours straight or something and finally had to shut it down last night about 11. I get a feeling they got some sleep and they'll be at it again this morning. Pay attention. That's the best place by far I know to get information because it's right up to date and it's not the glossed over stuff that the local news does. Maybe pay attention to the local news, know where this is coming. But be ready. You know your area. Are strong winds possible? Watch what the rains are. Watch what's going to potentially be flying objects. Okay. If you're on flat ground, tornadoes are more likely to be on flat ground. They don't like to bounce over mountains. Okay. So all those people in the Blue Ridge Mountains or stuff like that, were hitting the entire East Coast, Appalachia, Adirondacks, everything like that. If you're in the mountains, you get a little bit better chance of staying away from tornadoes. You're down near the cities where it's a lot flatter, you're more at risk. Understand that, know that, and prepare for it. If you're watching this at 4 o'clock in the morning, you got a couple hours. If you're in the middle of it when you're watching it, I hope you prepared yesterday. We'll see you around lunch. Pinball out.